Okay. Okay, we are doing this. Hi, I'm Sophie, and hi, Gosia. How are you?
Hi, Sophie. I'm wonderful. I'm so excited we made it. Yes, we're doing it.
I know. It's been interesting. Okay, doing this. Hi, I'm Sophie, and hi, Gosia. How are you?
Hi, Sophie. I'm wonderful. I'm so excited we made it. Yes, we're doing it.
I know. It's been okay.
Were we
Hi.
supposed to talk about entities today?
Okay. All right. I apologize. I think I had two windows open, and it was showing me the replay.
Oh, that is so funny.
All right, we're good. We're good. So, Gosia, you had a very special topic you wanted to discuss today. Would you like to go ahead and tell us what it was?
Well, when I was asking what should we talk about, I thought of talking about stopping to hide and stepping out and stepping up and showing up in the world. So wherever we can go with that.
Yes, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so there's so many things that are coming to my mind because I'm pretty well known in the people that know me that I'm not really shy. Like there's really nothing. I'm not afraid of doing anything. I mean, as you know, I just posted naked pictures of me on the internet, so there's really not much that I'm afraid of doing. Yet at the same time, there's the energy of I'm hiding, and what I realized is that. So, did you have a question?
Well, were you always like this, that you were just showing up so much and being not afraid of doing things that could be controversial or could be judged by this reality? Were you always like this, or it started at some point? I'm very curious about it because you're so different in this area.
Yeah, I think I've always been like this because I remember my grandmother spending a great deal of time telling me, don't show off so much. So I definitely, I feel like my family has had a really hard time with how much I wanted to, be out there. So they put me in acting classes pretty young, dance and acting classes, because I just wanted to, I was a performer. I mean, I don't think, I used to make my own little shows for my family. I've always performed. I wanted to be on stage in front of others, always. I mean, as far as I can remember. Yet, you know what's really funny is that I never did anything. I mean, that's not true. By myself, when I was creating by myself, I never did anything that people were so excited about that they wanted to share it with others. So for me, the place where I'm not stepping up is where am I not stepping up, that not only am I just being me and creating my stuff, but also to the point that people want to share it and expand it with me. Does that make sense?
I am not quite sure, actually. So you're saying that have this exuberant energy and you want to invite everyone, yet you haven't managed to invite them into the space so they actually step into the same space? Is this what you're saying?
Yeah, that could be it. And also, what I saw, so this is an interesting observation you made. What I saw was that people were not offended, but it was too much for them. I was too much, right?
Okay.
So I was never an invitation. Even though I stepped up, I stepped out, it was never an invitation because it was either too offensive or too loud or too big or too much. And so people will shy away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, okay. So they judged it. That's why you couldn't be an invitation. They couldn't choose whatever you were choosing because they judged it. The moment we have a judgment of something, we kill the creation. Okay. Now I get it, where you're coming from. And is this really true? Or you plant a seed of something that's maybe outrageous in the moment for them, but it never stops poking them a little bit. And it's like, I remember when I saw this lady on stage or at the party or whatever that was, she was so different. What was that?
I mean, if you ask anybody who's either acted with me or has seen me acting or perform or do something like that, everybody will, I mean, a lot of people will tell you that I inspired them to do something in their life. So, you know, I was in a workshop and people were asked, the leader of the workshop asked, who in this group is inspiring you? And 2 or 3 people would say Sophie, because she's doing this, she's doing that. So I know that every time I did something, it inspired people to also see what they could do. So that was cool. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So what, like, we were great and really out of the box so far that we were the invitation, we're the leaders, and we didn't let the ones that actually do judge us for that outrageous behavior or acting or being, because it's about being, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't let them stop us, because how many of us are letting other people stop us because we always look for around for the approval, for do they like it, don't they like it, oh, if they don't like it, maybe I need to temper it down a little bit and don't be too much, because if I'm too much they will feel bad about themselves or me or whatever that is. So like, what would it take to really be this explosion wherever we go, if people like it or not?
Okay, so I'm very curious about something.
Yeah.
So I can be an explosion at my house and have so much fun and actually enjoy that more now than being an explosion in public. Mm-hmm. Because it is really not fun for me to be so much energy in public that people shut me down or like, you know, push me away and create separation for me. It's not fun.
Okay.
So is stepping up and stepping out, does it really require to do it with others or in front of others or for others?
So yes, that's a very good question. So is it for others or is it just for us? And we are surrounded by people all the time, especially where we live. So do we have to? No, I don't get that we have to do it for others or not. So what if we're being this aggressive presence, this exuberance of being always, regardless of if there are people around us or not, right?
Yeah.
That feels better. And
yes.
Not worry, and if it doesn't work for you because it's not fun anymore to be like really severely judged and you can't even talk to anyone because everybody thinks you're too weird, yeah, that's not fun. That's not fun when we're being judged constantly. It's, yeah.
So here's what, thank you so much, Gosia, because you just gave me the distinction that I was requiring. So I can be in my car, and actually that has happened more than once. I can be in my car when I'm dancing and singing my ass off, and people, you know, cars next to me see me and they smile so big, or in the street they smile so big because I'm like, yay, you know, and so they love it and it's fun. It's creating something awesome, and because I don't care, I really don't care whether they join or not. I'm having fun and they love it, right? That's awesome. Then there is the moments where I'm doing something for people. So basically, if I'm doing a speech, because now I'm a public speaker, if I'm doing a speech or if I'm doing a show or a workshop, and then when that's for people, then that's where Gary's advice of you cannot give somebody more than they can receive, that's where it comes in play. So that doesn't mean that I'm not being me fully, but I'm being me fully and I'm aware of where people can receive. So that's the distinction that I was missing.
Awesome. Because like energetically, you cannot shut down. Like even if we sit in silence, so many times I've been just sitting in silence at some social gathering and I know I'm still being a presence and I'm still changing bodies and lives around me. And I get it sometimes so strongly because then somebody says something to me at the end or asks me a questions that like changes their universe when we start talking. So I stopped being like in a wrongness because nobody asked me anything and I was silent and I didn't say, because I would always be like, oh my gosh, why can't I even open my mouth? You know, I'm so shy. But it's like, no, I'm not shy. It's just maybe because I tried before and I would say things and nobody would hear me. Like literally, I had people like gazing at me and like shaking it off and changing subject and changing direction, or they would like completely dismiss it. I was like, am I speaking different language? Am I like not loud enough? What is it? And exactly what you said, people were not able to receive what I was saying. So I started being silent and just being energetically present. And then I started just saying whatever I want to say and throw it out and have fun no matter what. So for me, this was like from getting totally shy because I wasn't received to like, you know what, I'm going to be myself no matter what. And if you like think I'm totally weird, it's okay too, but I'm going to have fun regardless. And this works for me for right now, now.
Yeah. So I want to tell you a little story that happened this week. I'm part of a public speaking group and we meet on a regular basis. And I've been wanting to introduce them to the tools of access, but the leader of the group, she made it very clear she doesn't want to talk about energy or consciousness. So it's been challenging to be around that and be like, okay, how can I contribute something? But this week, one of the speakers, one of the guys who speaks with us, he talked about the law of attraction, and he took it a little bit further and talked about questions. Now, the questions he gave are not the questions that you and I will use because they were why questions, but you know, he opened up the door for questions. And I saw an opportunity there. And so at the end of the meeting, I went to him and I said, I asked a question and I said, can I add questions to your repertoire? Can I give you more questions to ask? And he's like, of course, right? So I gave him, how does it get any better than this? And what else is possible? Much. Then he posted on our Facebook group the questions, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's awesome, it's awesome, it's awesome. And I was able to give them even more questions. And I'm like, that was actually me being me.
Yeah.
In a way that they could receive it.
Yeah. It was something else opened the door for you. How awesome.
Yeah. It was really cool. Wow. So now at least they're playing with questions. So it's one step.
Wow. And it's how big is the step? It can change someone's life. Just asking question can change everything. So how cool is that? Bravo. I remember when you were saying that they don't want you to teach the tools, but you just did.
and it didn't come through a speech yet because I'm actually participating in a competition at the end of the month. So I'm gonna be like, I'm building a speech right now where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this fit in this reality, but I'm gonna like sneakily put some tools in there, you know. And so it's, I'm not necessarily doing it through a speech, but through a conversation that is related to what people are you know, talking about, and just adding a little bit. And this is where, for me now, being me and stepping up and stepping out also means being aware of where people are at.
Exactly.
And it's really cool. I like that a lot.
I love it because sometimes, you know, we come from the place that we have all these tools. We have so many tools. And for us, this became a natural way of being and living life. Like every 10 seconds, we use something. Yet there are people that could change their life or completely their outlook with one or two of those tools. And it would be already so much and a lot. But I'm always like, that's nothing. And then no, a lot for them. You know, I want to give them everything. And maybe they just want, how does it get any better than this? Because this is all they can receive in the moment. So this is the hardest thing for me, to like really shut up when I want to tell them everything and wait and just be and be and be and be. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, being is actually the key, right? So that's the other thing. Stepping up and stepping out is not necessarily doing.
Yeah.
It's actually being.
Yeah.
It's beingness, which does not necessarily include any actions. It may, and it often will, but it could just be us being here, smiling, being relaxed.
Yeah.
And people were like, you're different, you know? Yeah. The woman who runs the group, she told me, she said, what's really cool with you, Sophie, is one, you're very different, and two, people will listen to you. You have authority. And it's fascinating to me. I'm like, why? Why do people listen to me? But because when I speak, I don't, I'm just being me, and I don't down me. Like, I trust me. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. You don't have to sell your soul to anyone
No.
for anything.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how, okay, what give, like, okay, we are willing to be us regardless. How many people or don't even know what is me? I was talking last night, I was this women's group, and I said, you know, when I recognize, I learned the tool, light, what's light, it's true for you, what's heavy is alive for you. When I started actually paying attention to what was coming out of my mouth, like 100% of what I was saying was a lie. It was like, oh, that was my mom, that was my culture, that was this. So finally I almost stopped talking because everything I would say was heavy to me. It's like, oh my gosh, my whole life I've bought all these things, they were me. And what now? What am I gonna do with this? Who am I? Like, what is me? Who is me? What is that I've been pretending not to be my whole life? And I started slowly, like saying things that, okay, that was light, that's light, that's light. And I started finding myself. So being, and I know it's just the beginning. I know I just scratched the surface above the huge iceberg. And what is possible with just being and not being the repetition of whatever we heard from our parents and teachers and husbands or wives, whatever it is. Like for us, it's like, yeah, I'm just being. For 99% people, they don't even know what being is. What is the being? Who am I truly? Not who I believe I am, not what I bought I am, but who truly, truly, truly is this being.
So can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
Do we really need to know who we are, or would that be then definition?
Well, that would be a definition, yes. What I was more saying, thank you, because it sounded like this. More for me was like, literally nothing I said was coming out of my mouth was mine. It was either I read it in a book or I like heard it from someone. And it was like, that's not my truth. That's not true for me. I just bought it because it sounded good or it worked for somebody else. So it was more like this. Without definition, I started recognizing that there is a place and space I could come from that would be truly me. So it doesn't have to be defined, because I have way less definition of myself than before. And before it was just judgments and beliefs that I bought from others about myself. Now it's like no definition. It's not linear. I can't explain it. It's just when I talk, when it resonates with me, it's me. So what if we, yes, thank you, did not define, but when we're sitting in just our presence, our energy, our whatever is true for us, we were the contribution to the world around us always 24/7. And that was the stepping out of hiding and of being who we are not truly being.
So this is awesome. So awesome. It's a little bit advanced for maybe the people that never heard of Access or but the thing is this. Watch a kid, right? When a kid is playing or a kid is just being, so the kid does not talk, the kid has no sense of social appropriateness or whatever it is. The kid is just being. That's actually the energy we're talking about, is that energy of just like, okay, I'm hungry, now I'm going to eat. Okay, now I'm tired, I'm going to go sleep. Okay, now I want to play with this. Why is this red? What, like that energy of like, okay, I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to say, well, it's 12 o'clock, so I have to eat lunch. We're just going to go eat because we're hungry. That's being, right?
Yes.
And the cool thing is we also have words. So it's fascinating because I'm like writing these speeches and, there's such a big, like looming thing over my head of like, this could change my life. This could change people's lives. But I realized, what if I just played with the words instead of making the words significant? Yeah. What if I just played with them? Because if I play with the words, then I can be whatever energy I want to be on stage.
Yes.
And the words are going to be the little hooks, little like, oh, okay, I know that word. Okay, oh, I know what she's saying. Oh, okay, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if I say manifest, or if I say meditate, or if I say grounding, or if I say goal, like all those words that we don't really use in Access anymore. It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
because
If somebody can relate to it, they will hear it.
you will hear it. But who I'm being with those words is such a bigger energy.
Yes.
Such a bigger success.
Yes. I had this discussion last night with this lady who is teaching a course in miracles. And, we were talking and she was using the words. They were like, and I would say, huh? And she's like, yeah, actually, this is the same thing. We just call it this way. And I was like, wow, it is. It literally was energetically exactly the same, but they started using something that most people will hear, and there's a huge concept behind it, yet the word might not match this concept somehow. But then when I talked about my way of perceiving it, she's like, no, this is how we explain it. It's exactly the same. And I was like, wow, what you said, it doesn't matter how we call it sometimes, and yet there is energy in words, and I'm recognizing it very much. It's more like who you're being when you're using this word, and how you perceive that. So it's very interesting for me, because I would like shut down all those words, I was like, no, and then it's like, oh, it's the same.
So oh my gosh, it almost feels like we can create our new language. So Gary always says, don't speak Access.
Yeah.
In real life, in like regular life, don't try to speak Access. And I'm like, okay, so how can I use the words that people understand and get? So like, for instance, I'm building a Right Voice for You workshop for February 20th, but I've decided it's going to be about sales. Now, we don't have a sales workshop in Access, right?
No.
Like, we don't do sales. We talk about invitation. We talk about being the invitation to something, right? I'm going to get people to do sales with the tools of Access.
That is brilliant.
But the truth is, sales is just going to be the word that's going to get people to be, okay, this is something I either want or know, or I'm afraid of, or I don't understand, or whatever. So, but, there's so much more than that. It's just, I'm like so excited. What can we create with words that we have not conceived yet? We have not even considered yet.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, using the words as hooks, using the words as invitation to get someone's attention, and then we can energetically deliver, explain it in a way that they will hear, that will completely blow their minds away. So I love it. Whatever works.
And this is where why I love Access, because being includes the body. So this is so brilliant. So, and I learned public speaking with this woman who does a very formal training, and she has this trademark. So for instance, she says, show people, she says, if you do this, you're protecting your private parts. So when you're speaking, if you're speaking like this or like this, right? Mm-hmm. You're protecting your private parts, so you're afraid. So you're projecting that energy of I'm afraid of the audience and protecting, etc. So she wants us to open up the hands. Mm-hmm. Well, what's interesting for me is that if I don't think about where my hands are, or if I don't try to direct my hands or my body will be open. The body will be like, woo, we're having fun, right?
Yes.
So I get what she's saying, and it's awesome. And at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but the truth is, if you just trust your body will not protect itself.
Yeah, no. If you just show up, the body will want to show up too.
Yeah. It's just awesome.
And if we have no judgment of the body, if we like really fully embrace the body, every molecule, and we're grateful for the body, there's no reason to talk like this or stand and talk to people like this. We just don't have to do that. It just naturally opens up. Naturally, when I talk, I find myself like, woohoo, my hands, and they just always waving and being out, but I never caught myself standing and protecting myself anywhere. So you're right. Like when you step into it, there's no need. And if there is a need to do that, let's explore the possibilities of clearing it so you don't have to hide, right?
Yeah. and sometimes it's because I'm illustrating something, you know. So like for instance, one of the speech I'm talking about, I talk about meditation, and so I'm like, meditation, you know, like I'm, you know, illustrating meditation, you know. It's sometimes the body is such an amazing tool. Okay. Last night, my daughter fell asleep on my bed, and I moved her from my bed to her bed, and she was half asleep, right? And she wanted to express something to me, but the words were not coming out because she was half asleep. So her body started expressing it, and she would like start kicking like that. And I was laughing my ass off because I'm carrying this child and she's kicking in the air like she's doing karate. And then finally at the end she said, there's nobody. So basically, I don't know, she must have been like kicking some kind of energy that was there that was bugging her, whatever. But it was hilarious. Her body was doing it. She didn't have to like vocalize it, you know? It was so cool.
That's awesome. Yes. What do we know that we're pretending not to know, huh?
One of my favorite questions, man.
I know.
All right, so I feel like, so Gosia, how are you going to be stepping out this week?
Wow, I actually reached out to many people. I demanded to meet more people in the area. I said, I love traveling. I love being somewhere else. And there's so much to be and to do actually where I am. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people that possibly are looking for the tools. So I just demanded, and there was this beautiful woman who reached out to me, found me somewhere meetup, and we had a beautiful gathering of 10 amazing women last night. And all these possibilities started showing up, and I just realized, like, what would it take to create more of where I am, so I don't have to always spend time on the airports and being gone for days from home, and you know, take away times for my boys. And it's like immediately started showing up. So today I have a meeting with another lady who like could create something possibilities, and there's like all these requests coming from different directions and people that I haven't talked for a while, like, hey, where have you been, what can we do something? So I see like really questions create so much and give us awarenesses of where to go, what to do. And I'm so just like, wow, so fast it happens, shows up so fast when we just dare to ask the question. So this is me following up and creating for the future, and just being in a space of being.
I love it. I love
it. You're creating your workshop, right? And your speech.
Well, it's actually quite an interesting thing. So yeah, there's the speech, there's the competition, there's the workshops, there's the website, unashamedly you. There's so many things. And in France, I have a class coming up in France, and in France they're trying to get me a TV interview. So it's there's a lot showing up for me, and I'm very excited. Very excited.
More than this TV interview, I like the sound of it, honey.
Yeah. So. It's really fun. It's really fun. And following the energy, I pushed I knew my trip to Europe was too early, so I pushed the dates a little bit. So I'm still going to Florence, but doing the class after Florence instead of before. And right after I did that, there's a big speech opportunity coming up a couple of days before I leave. So lots of energy. All right, somebody's wanting your attention.
Yes.
All right, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you for stopping clarity.
Thank you, honey. Thank you so much, and I'm so glad we did it today. It was perfect. It's perfect, and whatever you said, showed me a different possibility. Awesome. Even more. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Sophie. Bye. Until next week. Bye.